I think we all need to pull the reins back on this whole Pizzagate thing and take a look at it as we usually do and consider it to be fake news. Even though that seems to be what mainstream media is pushing, they love to play the opposite game here. And it just seems very odd that something with this many connections seems to be getting shut down by mainstream media rather quickly. Almost like they're protecting pedophilia. Like it just seems so weird. Back in August 8th, I made a video highlighting all the events. It started with Pulse, which is June 12th. And there was a 33-day difference between Pulse and the Nice attacks. The PSYOP rate was getting to the point where I felt like I needed to make videos. That's when I joined July 22nd. But as quickly as they kind of built up and went away, I'm not saying they completely went away. As school started, there were a few school shootings here and there. There was a lot going on right around the DNC and the RNC, as you saw there. So this is like when I first got a strike or a severe violation and my account was taken offline for a bit. But this is when stuff was getting a little crazy, and it's almost like all that shit was popping off. I mean, the summers usually are times when these psyops occur. People are out of school, they have more of their cognitive space open to process, bullshit theatrics that they're going to play up on the media. So it's a known thing that there's an increase of this shit going on, and there is an increase of normal crime. That it's actually real. It's not fake crime, it's real crime that occurs during the summer. Just because during the winter, it's just more people are inside, less shit is going on. I'm not saying there's no crime during the winter, but there's definitely an increase of shootings and all that during the summer. So scrolling through though, then there really wasn't much after that. I did that. This is where I got knocked off about 3 months ago. But my theory, I'm going to continue it here, is that they kind of brought people that were maybe on the edge of being a researcher, quote unquote. They knew about some of this stuff that was going on, Sandy Hook, blah, 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 but they weren't they weren't making videos, or they weren't fully engaged. And maybe them popping off all this shit, especially around the election, was by both a means of, getting people conditioned to all that and the police state and that, but also to bring in researchers and fringe people in society back online where they're definitely not on. Like I was watching videos, but I didn't have my own account. I wasn't commenting. I was just watching a lot of these. They kind of did. This is getting into September 18th. This is the New York Boston bombing tribute. And then a lot of videos started to come up with in my dash on coding and stuff. This is the Charlotte shooting. But, a few channels, Anthony's channel was saying, as school starts, we're going to see the school shootings, obviously, and we did see that. So it was very light. And this one was targeting Christians. It was a button pusher for Christians. It was mocking Christians. That's what I felt anyway, with the whole superhero funeral. But these were very light psyops. They were leading up to the election. They wanted all those theatrics to go over well without a hinge. They wanted to create the duality. So they were they didn't like completely shut the psyops down. Like there were still fake shootings. There were events going on. There was, ISIS activity being talked about. They didn't play the fear down. It's just there weren't as many events taking place. So then, I did the thing on, it was weird to me that all of a sudden advertisements were starting to include conspiracy theorists goofing on both progressive and both the pizza place and progressive. And let's see, Truth Media Revolution was spotlighted by Leafy is Here, and he was like roasting the truth movement for all the kids that follow his channel. Makes him seem edgy, makes the truth movement seem like lame, even though it's probably what most people should be focusing on, not following pubescent teens that like know little about the world, or they may know a lot and they're just a voice for, bullshit people. He's paid. There's something going on there. Anyway, going through some of these things, there was a few psyops, leading into Halloween. Everything but died off. I was doing some weather warfare shit during these periods. There was an Iowa shooting. I did a couple things on ISIS. And then the fake news thing hit like a week ago, more or less. I did another ISIS thing. There was more divide and conquer. Warren Buffett's pushing the WMDs and a little dialogue. All this shit just about, it was just about dead. There was not much going on. A few celebrity things. Kanye kicked up the steam again with his little episode. I feel like Kanye allows people to get fixated on the news again. Because once they hear something about him, they usually look into it because it's, it's funny. People think it's funny. But then the fake news thing hit, and it got people kind of like, are you kidding? Like, you're going to report on fake news? And they say stupid shit in it like, independent researchers. Well, who are these independent researchers? Are they independent of bias? Are they independent? Are they robots? Like, can they be swayed? Are they independent from bribes? Like, give me a break with this shit. Independent researchers. Independent of what? Because you say they're independent? Give me a freaking break. This shit is so funny. It's just an example of how stupid people are. They read one adjective is added to researchers, and it's all of a sudden credible, especially if it's coming from like Washington Post or whatnot. Independent researchers, meaning what? Meaning they don't work for a newspaper and they're independent. They're entrepreneurs and they'll work for any amount of money to do independent research. What the fuck? Are you serious? The point I'm trying to make here is, although there was no psyops, there definitely were psyops. They were very light in nature, and they just, in general, created a divide and conquer. The ISIS stuff was just building up potential operations the U.S. is going to involve themselves with, maybe more troops. This is just priming for that. Everybody freaking realizes that at this point. One article can be released that the Pentagon, pays a PR firm $500 billion to make ISIS and Al Qaeda propaganda. That's a news story. And then all of a sudden, this stuff can air on CNN and shit. Like, this isn't some of that paid propaganda. Like, why couldn't it be? It just as easily could be. They're just a news outlet. They're reporting from the Middle East. Who's going to tell us that it's real or fake? But what I'm saying is, all these things that were going on during November and October were light, and I think it was just them trying to get people to look into his October surprise, Julian Assange's, leaked emails, which looking into what WikiLeaks is, like the emails, like what exactly are the leaked emails? It's a hacker group supposedly gets emails and then gives them to WikiLeaks, and then WikiLeaks establishes their authenticity. Well, what makes them authentic? I don't really get it. Or who's to say that the those emails aren't just it's all just a game, like the emails that get the hacker group is just hacking emails that the DNC let them hack, and all those 33,000 emails, like people forget it was 33,000 emails. Like that little block of 33,000 emails could be a whole Freemasonic psyop. Every single one of those could be written by a staff of people. And the Podestas and all of them could be involved, but it could just be a phantom reality they're trying to create. And basically, it's just information. They're just creating fake information. Like who is the ultimate judge of what's real and what's fake? Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, CNN. The truth, doesn't have a brand. That's why it's so funny to me when, New York Times, all these different things, like they're trying to brand truth. Truth doesn't have a brand. It doesn't have a religion. It doesn't have any sort of thing. It's just truth. The fact that they can even say like independent researchers, like what? Independent of what? Exactly. A party? Well, that doesn't mean they're independent of money. You can still pay them money to give them an outcome that you want, right? What are they independent of? That's just such a silly statement. So before I'm just rambling on, but what I'm trying to say is they just made this dead zone of psyops, put this October surprise that they basically teased like a movie. Like we're getting like we're all here just operatives, like getting the WikiLeaks from the internet, because some hacker group hacked them for WikiLeaks, and they got and they're real emails. I mean, they're real. What do they mean by they're real? They could just say they're real emails. Like, what does that even say? They're real emails. It all comes down to words, basically. What do they mean the emails are real? They're real emails? Yeah. Like, how could they be fake emails? Were they cartoon emails? No, they're real. They're written. Were they from their servers? They could be. But they could have been on a server that they left a back door open to, so they got hacked. Like, do you think they're gonna keep the hacker groups are gonna be able to hack these government things? I don't even think they would be passing this information through emails. It seems to be like it would be something that would be completely coded, and there would be no paper trace at all for a pedophilia ring. It just seems so breadcrumbing to me at this point. And I just want to put that out there because a lot of channels were commenting how it was kind of like it got really dry on news and psyops. I'm not saying they completely went dead, but it was like the calm before the storm. So now I'm looking at this WikiLeaks thing as like breadcrumbs. It's a marketing technique. They make you think that you discovered this thing on your own, and they branded it all right, and they're branding it Trump. And I don't know if that's because it's a divide and conquer psyop, or if it is in fact real, and they're trying to deflate the whole thing by labeling it, by branding it. And people like this David Seaman and some of these people that are like, not only are they posting hashtag Pizzagate, but they're posting like these memes showing people who don't understand that even though they're a citizen and didn't vote Trump, that Trump is still their president. They're making all these memes and showing who they're siding with. There's all sorts of disgusting shit that goes on in the hierarchy. I mean, once you end the search for money and there's always a search for power, and power comes in the form of taboo, and basically it's like killing people and sexual crimes become the taboo for the wealthy elite, and controlling people, being able to play the world as if it was a game. That's the power that people seek once they get a certain amount of money and realize that it ain't about money. So just keep in mind that we could just be getting played. I mean, we go from saying stuff as fake news to saying stuff as real news. And what does this hinge on? WikiLeaks? And what does WikiLeaks hinge on? They're an organization that collects hacked emails. Who the fuck knows what's going on with that? The hackers could be working with Hillary's DNC. I know this seems crazy, but they could just be leaking this information on purpose. It could just be all an in-depth thing. I'm not really going to get tunnel vision, like I said in an earlier video. Not only did I think all those psyops around the RNC, DNC, basically from June to about October, stuff was going on. But like I said, it was very light. They had it open. They had the election and the debates going on. They didn't want to interfere too much with that divide and conquer rhetoric that they were trying to prime everybody with. Because you got to understand these different operations that they undertake, they have phases. And if they try to do if you watch the video to the end, I think I'm seeing these acts unfold. We could just be seeing this giant triggering that they're going to do. First, they're triggering the Democrats right now, or the left who lost. They had Trump say all this stuff that he's going to put Hillary in jail. They boosted up the October surprise, which is weird to me that a non-biased leaking, he's trying to be balanced, trying to be for the people, and he leaks one-sided emails from the DNC of Hillary. He's trying to expose Hillary. Why wouldn't he expose the whole election as a whole as being a duality fucking game that pins and keeps humanity trapped in this mechanism ongoing year after year? Why would he be leaking any emails? Why would he be boosting any emails up any side? It seems like it's a pro-Trump thing. It seems ridiculous that people can't see through that illusion. Who is this guy that is supposedly for human rights, humanity, trying to expose the tyranny against humanity, but he's still pushing the two-party system? What the fuck? I just had this brand loyalty thing up because what I wanted to say is, not only do I think they were popping off shit during the summer again, when people have more free time to be on the computer and stuff at night or whatever, they just have a little bit more people on hand to organize events easier. More people are out and about. More people can witness. They're not gonna pull a psyop in the middle of freaking winter when it's ice covered. The psyop is them pumping up the storm and making you go get bread and all that hype, and covering the accidents and covering the real shit that's going on. But they're not gonna pull I mean, it's totally possible they can, but it's easier for them to pull a op in better weather conditions. So you do see it increase during the summer. But I think that they think of this plan, this master plan. We always talk about, they plan stuff in years in advance and this and that. So we need to think of that. We need to think of the fact that the secret meeting pizza thing is a card in the Illuminati deck. These all are plays. They're little power plays that have been talked about for 20 years. They've been built up for 20 to 30 years. If Discovery Channel is controlled and all these networks are controlled, how do these pedo documentaries even get made, even make it close to making air and then get canceled. All that, even that play in itself. Like I'm speaking of the silent. I can't think of the title. A friend recommended it to me. But then I'm thinking that in itself, making it to almost being aired and then it being canceled, like that could have just been a psyop. That could have just been an act to be like, what the heck? Like they are really hiding this. And it builds up. It builds up over time and people get pissed. It's like obviously it's going on. It's a known industry. Child trafficking is a known industry. And your neighbor's not doing it and all your friends aren't doing it or at least you don't think they are. But it would require you to be pretty wealthy in order for if it did get out, like your career would be ruined if you didn't have any money or lawyers to hide that. You'd be in jail. So it's child trafficking and child rape and all that stuff. It's not something that it occurs like, but those people go to jail if you're not wealthy. So they drew a bunch of people in during the summer to be researchers on purpose. They had a bunch of quirky things go off that were like almost too crazy to be true. Like like everything. I'm talking like CERN, the opening of CERN, these satanic rituals. It's all theatrics. They want researchers. They want people on the computer like getting cognitive dissonance day in and day out, researching ins and outs, get like playing the disinfo game themselves, putting out videos that have disinfo. Everybody's guilty of putting out disinfo. Nobody knows what's going on. So I feel like them dragging people into this game is part of a whole thing. It's the web, it's the net, it's the trap. They're just trying to get people involved with the Ethernet. It's part of the power. It's building power. They build this power and then redirect it. And they make you think that your thoughts are your own, but really they're conducting the whole thing. They tried, and a few smart channels realized it. They tried to brand the conspiracy movement as Trump, and people and it seemed though bigger channels were pushing, oh, lesser of two evils, definitely pick Trump. He's not the insider, blah blah blah. But you'd have to be stupid to really like believe in that shit. So dragging people in, getting them into this conspiracy thing, then at the last second before the election, telling them, before it's too late, just go with Trump. I don't vote. I've never voted. Voting is your consent to a tyrannical system, to a industrial military complex. You're fed propaganda. If you want this fucking cycle to continue, vote. Go out and vote. To think that these people aren't criminals, they've done criminal shit. Their lives, they rub elbows with criminal people, pass criminal laws for their cronies. To say that these people aren't criminal towards humanity, you're just sticking your head in the sand and living out your life because you just want to relax. Well, I mean, 100,000 million trillion people played the sellout game, and so many more played the relax game in this reality, this game that we're all playing. Why be one of those people? Like, it's just so corny to me. So sit back and watch football that's fake and rigged, and all these sports are fake and rigged. All these like celebrities like touch and diddle kids and are probably involved in all this satanic shit. I'm not in denial of that. I'm not trying to like debunk this Pizzagate shit. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to see the grand master play here that's going on. What is the bigger picture? And people will constantly say this rhetoric on their channel, but get swept up in it depending on how they craft or engineer the reality. That's all they're doing. So what they did was took the conspiracy theorists that they built up. They had so many ops. They had goofy shit. They had Christian mockery with superhero funerals. They were just going on and on, talking about space. The Pope's going back on things. Trump's going back on things. It's all fucking head games. That's all it is. And now with Jill Stein, when I heard Jill Stein on the postal service video on this like this bitch now on the Green Party wants recounts, and she says it's not for any party. Yeah, okay. It's all part of this psyop. I don't think that he actually won the vote. I think that he was selected. I think it's all part of the theatrics. They didn't drop the ball. Trump's not going to come in here, grab the reins, and quote unquote drain the swamp. Like, are you kidding? He's coming into play here. They built up this whole conspiracy theory thing. Even some of these higher level channels told you to go with Trump. Now you breathe the exhale. You're watching all the liberals cry. I mean, I'm not on either side. I'm not pointing my finger. I'm not laughing. I'm not doing any of this shit. I'm just sitting back with popcorn and watching it as if it is a show. Because it is. Jill Stein's bullshitting now, doing the recounts. What if this Pizzagate fire doesn't go out, which I don't see it going out? You have all these like almost looking like paid people now boosting this shit up that came out of nowhere, that almost seem like they're Julian Assange style WikiLeaks researchers themselves. Like this whole thing is like a web spin. This thing looks like it's a spun story, just like anything else. Has all the coding. It's like, would they really breadcrumb this shit out there? I see the argument. I understand the argument where it's like, they like to, this is what groups like to do. They like to be really open, but secretive, out in the open. I understand that concept completely. But I also understand it's a very intricate marketing technique where they try to advertise in the most guerrilla way possible, so that when people find something and realize a brand or a product, they think that they came upon something on their own. They decided on something on their own. Like, they were brought into the research thing. They were branded Trump at the last second because, I got to make a decision. I got to vote. Like, I got to be a citizen and vote. Like, who's forcing you to vote? I didn't know there was like a penalty for not voting. So they made you feel like you discovered this Trump brand on yourself if you're part of this whole movement exposing Pizzagate and you're like a Trump supporter going behind David Seaman. It's like every other post these people post other than Pizzagate is Trump, memes and shit like that. And it's kind of funny to me that it's like you're actually making the claim that this is only a democratic issue, sickness. So yeah, they made you feel like you discovered this shit on your own. The way even sometimes I look at like Gucciar, like he broke both of those. Maybe that whole shit was just meant to as like a hook to hook people in, so that this whole election would be overturned. Jill Stein's gonna overturn shit. Hillary will be put in office. This was like the play all along. Trump knew this, so it was all part of the act. That would be the ultimate butthurt for the Republican side, the alt right, who are making videos, all this memery going on, drinking liberal tears, and they're even playing. I think there's a lot of actors involved with the liberal crying. There's a lot of crisis acting involved with that. A lot of heavy channels with heavy viewership that are pulling this, oh my God, shit. And it's just like it's all theatrics to me. So what if they overturn the election as I'm watching some of these people speculate? That would be literally the ultimate butthurt. The ultimate liberals like, see, it shouldn't be about popular vote. Blah blah blah. More, even if you think there was chaos in the street before with the crybaby artsy liberals, get ready for some real rioting and some real paid actors out in the street rioting out some "don't take my guns away" type "no, not Trump." That would be the ultimate order out of chaos, spun chaos that wasn't it came out of nothing and was organic. You know, that's where I learned in marketing is that the best brand loyalty comes out of an organic experience. Like they stumbled upon the brand themselves, and it wasn't it it wasn't like word of mouth. People's ego wanted to be like, I'm the discoverer. So with all this shit going on with Pizzagate, they made everybody like an investigator with this like completely obvious thing, like, and they've been playing it up throughout the years. It's even an Illuminati card. Now I watched a video about Macaulay Culkin, and again too, it could just be the opposite of what my statements are saying now, which is that it is a pizza underground, that there is a disgusting ring of pedophilia that goes on, and I'm not in denial that is the case. But I've seen the Christians' buttons get pushed up and leading to this election. Now they got their Trump guy, but what if it was pulled away from them? I mean, there might just be mass hysteria because they're mad about the pedo shit, and then they're going to be mad about abortions and everything else that goes with a Democratic presidency. This right here is a little Wikipedia segment on guerrilla marketing because I mentioned it, and I started to take a step back and think of this whole push and all this media hype, and this could just be advanced guerrilla marketing. You try to present a brand to somebody in the most like obscure way. Like you wouldn't even imagine different techniques companies come up with. You can use all this terminology. That's why marketing is such a great branch of business to study, because just in fact another word for mind control. That's why it's one of the things that brought me into wanting to make videos too. And I'm sure a lot of people will understand this. When when these apps started saying, oh, we just want you to sign the user agreement, we want access to your information because we want a better market to you. Um, I mean, in all the different classes and lectures I've been in about marketing, it's basically the concept of fooling people to buy products that you put less and less money into over the years, because you're constantly pushing down the bottom line so that you as a CEO can make more money, and you invest more money into marketing as a deception tool to get people to invest in your brand and to develop brand loyalty. More importantly than brand is brand loyalty. If you can get somebody to be brand loyal, they'll be brand loyal to the end. And that's what you see with political parties. You have people being brand loyal to Trump, and then they have this little audio bite that gets released like it wasn't like that. All that shit wasn't staged in a scheduled event. They get involved with the product. So let's say the product is WikiLeaks. They get involved with that actually without knowing that they're part of the advertisement campaign, the spreading it word of mouth. I mean, really, if we understand that mainstream media is controlled, why in the hell would we believe what they're saying about this WikiLeaks character? Like, it's just if there was really a leaked site, there would be so much info to discredit it. There would be so many campaigns. Like, there's no campaigns to discredit Assange. It's like, nope, they're authentic. They're authentic emails. Like, really? Does anybody really look into who these hacker groups are, who they're affiliated with? Uh, I mean, it's crazy how little information you have to give people, and they follow it like a religion. Mainstream media is like the new religion. People just follow it blindly, and they just make rule of thumb decisions based on mainstream media and mob mentality. Well, they'll have mob mentality. They'll keep going on this until everybody thinks that they're a threat themselves and that they need to wear neck collars and Jimmy down the street, yeah, he got killed because they must have known that he was about to. It's like Minority Report. They're gonna have like a jump on everybody because they think that everybody's a threat, and everybody will be so brainwashed that that will be common ground. Like it won't. People will not even think twice about that. So stealth marketing. So it's implemented with covertness. And that's why I feel like if there was an actual leaking site, you think it would be like advertised on mainstream media and